Alrighty, hello and welcome again to another ORL round here. This time around in Bahrain. Looking to be quite the interesting one this afternoon, as I've probably said the past three races. On to round 4 now, with a clear divide in our front runners and our back runners. Surprising up the front, Danger, has had a couple unfortunate races, a very, very strong force in qualifying. And, yeah, we're looking to see what he can do here in terms of race pace this time around. Trent Newton, obviously, one of our front runners, always been strong. He's won, I think, nearly every race of the season. And from last round, Aiden, a back-to-back winner in Austria with our double layout there with the normal layout and reverse layout. Keith, another very strong driver, and Rift, the number 2 driver in the Ferrari, who's quite consistent also. PS Bomber and Zonix in the V-Carb not having the best weekends as of far, apart from Australia. Piastrigo also makes a return to the grid after missing out on Austria last Sunday. And finally, at last, Lord Mahavir, our dark horse of this season, has made his debut in the Haas this time around for Season 8 in ORL. A very, very close championship it was between Piastrigo and Lord. And it's shaping up to be maybe the same again, with 3 rounds down for Lord. He will be looking to do what he can here. A win will be exactly what he's looking for. We know he's capable of it. And yeah, we will see what he can do. And RJ Quistra, another very, very strong driver. A great drive he had in Jeddah, I believe. Yes. I believe it was Jeddah. Yes, Saudi Arabia. P11 to P4 it was. A very great drive for him. I think as a reserve driver for the Aston Martin this time around, a definite force to be reckoned with in Tier 1 and Tier 2, seeing what he can do as he invalidates there. And up at the front here, Clammy Kid also invalidates. He hasn't had the best of times on F125. I've had a chat with him, and with myself being on controller, it isn't the best on this game, and he's just been struggling for pace in the Tier 1 grid. Whether he'll look into a switch at the mid-season break and switch for one of his Tier 2 drivers, Italian Ramen, who I believe is capable of Tier 1, and others seeing their pace. Sprinter Giggles, another very quick driver, reserving in the Kick Sauber. In the Kick Sauber as a Tier 1 driver, as he sets the first lap of the session, 129.1, as Mahavir shows his pace, goes a 127.9, which we know is near the pace, but not quite. Another 6 or 7 tenths we are expecting the pole to be, and as I say that, his teammate Apex has taken the second slot to V-Carbs, putting it in 3rd and 4th as it stands. And Danger, has he invalidated? Yes, he has. He'll be hopping into the pit lane, if not going for another run. And we'll jump down with Aiden, I believe, who is the leading Mercedes. Yes, he is, as he's got a bit of traffic there of an Aston Martin in front. Clammy Kid has retired in the garage, which is not ideal for him, as I was just mentioning, his struggles with Red Bull and his performance this season, so very unlucky from him. He'll likely be starting from the back, as he's the first DNF of the session. And Mikey, another very quick driver, in qualifying at least, puts it into 8th. We do know that he is quite unlucky in the races. And Aiden spins, he just loses the wheel there at the second last corner. Yeah, where was I? Yes, Clammy not having the best performance, Guga not having the best performance, and obviously Mikey DNFing in most of the races we've watched for him. Guga, actually, while we're on to him, he's had a very rough time trying to find the pace. Also, I believe, looking to make the move down to Tier 2, which is quite unfortunate for him. It's always sad to see someone drop down. But Keith, he just dips it into the grass a bit, and he does put it on pole by a 10th in front of Lord Mahavir in the Haas. Again, he'll be happy with it for now, but he won't be happy with it in the long run, because it is quite the slow lap. Not the lap he would be looking for, at least. Definitely looking for the lower to middle area of the 127s, which will be our estimated pole time. I believe we should expect a pole time of a 127.3 or a 127.2, if not faster, because that is what we did see in Tier 2 last night with my teammate Camillo. And we'll jump down to Trent, actually, who's on his in lap. So we won't bother with him. The two Ferraris put at 5th and 6th. The two Haas put it 2nd and 3rd. And the two V-Carbs put it 8th and 9th. 9th and 10th. As Guga finds a little bit of pace going 8th. Yeah, not too good for him. And we'll jump down to Piastri Goat, who is on his outlap, coming around to the main straight now. As Mahavir is out on his outlap, which might help Piastri Goat here, depending on how fast Mahavir wants to go on his outlap. He might get a bit of a tow down into the middle straight in Sector 2. If not, maybe catching a bit of a tow at the end of the lap. And we'll just see what he can do here. We do know he's got some pace, and Apex puts it up into 1st, ahead of Keith by a 10th again. So we are going to be seeing that throughout this session, going maybe a 10th or 2 faster each time, until they can get the pace up to the, down to, sorry, the 127.3, 127.4. We do know Mahavir has some pace under pressure. Whether he can pull that out in his first round back in ORL after a little bit of a break. Yeah, we'll see what he can do. Danger, haven't put in a lap yet. He did invalidate, we did see that. Jeez, got me stuttering. Blackear, a debut for him in ORL Tier 1. He had a run in Tier 2 yesterday, and I actually can't recall his pace. But nonetheless, a debut in Tier 1 for him, going on 131.8, which is well off the pace. He'll be looking to improve that. And Piastri go to the line, and he takes pole by 15 or so milliseconds. Very, very tight it is in the top 4, all in the 127s. And then Lockie, a 128.1. He was fast in Tier 2 qualifying yesterday, only a 10th off of, I don't know how much it was actually. I want to say it was a 10th off of Camillo's, but either way, we do know he's a fast driver for Tier 2. He's a fast driver in Tier 1 as a reserve. And he'll be looking to see what he can do as Aiden goes a 128.2 on his first lap. And we'll jump down to Mahavir, who is on his lap. And he's a 10th up, which would put him on for pole. 10th and a half up he is, so that would put him at 127.7. Where can he find some time, if not lose some time in this last sector here? And this bend, quite a tricky one. If you kind of get unstuck, the car can lose itself on the curb there, as we nearly just saw because of desync. We did see it earlier with Aiden, as he comes down to the line, the final corner. He prioritizes the exit, use the curb as much as he can. ERS to the line, and it's pole for Mahavir. Who would have thought? And he goes a 127.3, 4/10ths clear of the next car of Piastri Goat. So that is the pole time that we were expecting. Whether or not others can find the pace and the time to kind of get that time, or what am I saying, just find, try and get the pace, the lap time that they need, string a lap together if they can. And yeah, 4/10 to beat, 4/10 to find. I probably won't expect it to be beaten unless some of the Mercedes, or Piastri Goat for that matter, or Danger, find some pace at the very end. Which we will be seeing the final runs soon. 7 minutes to go. Our second runs should be getting out of the way here. Danger still hasn't put in a lap. And Mikey goes 6th fastest with a 1:28.1. Danger on his on his hot lap now. Coming around turn 1. Very tricky to not invalidate there as he does so. He can barely use that corner there. Very, very tricky, as he'll be looking to get into the pits to get in his final and only run of the session. JD only going 18th fastest as the two Saubers go 13th and 14th. Only a 10th between them. Anyone on a lap? Keith is on a lap. Where is he? He comes to the line, as we've missed the entire thing. And does he improve? Yes, he does. It's a 1:27.5, and he's still 2.5 tenths off of Mahavir, who's put it on pole provisionally. Trent Newton also improves. He gets into the 1:27s. It's 5th fastest for him. Lockie on his lap. Where is he? He does a purple sector 2. He's 2 tenths up, as we saw. That would put him into the 1:27s and provisionally into the top 5. As he comes around the final corner, a little bit of a toe from the Ferrari in front of, I believe, Rift. As he gets to the line, what's Rift going to go? Rift improves. He goes 5th fastest. Lockie goes 5th fastest. So Trent Newton's been pushed down back into 7th, as there's only milliseconds between the two Ferraris in the 1:27s, and Lockie finds another 2 tenths in that final sector and puts him up in a 5th in front of both Ferraris. Half a tenth in it between him and 4th place of the Haas, and the two Ferraris will definitely be looking for some competition between each other there, as Trent Newton comes into the pits now. Very, very close between the top 7, all in the 1:27s, but of course our front runners. As I say that, Aiden takes provisional pole from Mahavir with a 1:27.2, only 30 milliseconds faster than the Haas. Very, very close up the front. These final runs are going to be absolutely immaculate. Not the word I was looking for, but it works, I guess. It's going to be quite close. It's going to be intense. And who is going to crack under pressure? As we see Apex improve as he goes a 10.5 faster than Keith, it's now a Mercedes Haas sandwich. And yeah, only a 10th in it between the two Haas cars. And Keith will definitely be looking to get himself on the front row after Aiden having quite strong qualifying sessions and a great race at Austria. In total, Piastri goes 5th fastest in front of Lockie. I already said that. Right. Okay. Right, Piastri Goat to the line as he spins it, and he'll head into the pit lane and abort his lap. That is quite unfortunate for him. It looked to be quite a fast one for him. And the only car out on track is Apex and Aiden, who are both on their in laps, unless Apex is going. I'm sure he would not, with the final runs about to commence, as Mahavir is the first to lead the final runs, getting out early, getting some clean air on his outlap, and praying that he doesn't come out into traffic. And I've been booted. Hallelujah. 1 second while I've already got an invite back. Yippee. Oh, I've got like 4 invites. Legends. Alright, give me a minute. Alrighty, and we're back. Apologies for that. The final runs have effectively commenced while we've been away. Mahavir is the only one on his lap, with everyone else on their outlaps. As he comes into a bit of traffic, he sets a purple sector 1. He's got the Alpine in front of him, and he's had a bit of a moment there, and he's aborted his lap. He will probably farm the ERS, which he has a lot of, and go for another run to the line. He'll be bummed out with that one with a purple sector 1, but anyway, we'll hop on with Black here, because he is the next on his hot lap. In a bit of traffic again, another Alpine in front of him, as that was very close to being a invalidation. The Alpine will likely hop out of the way to stop his competition from getting a bit further, if it isn't Lockie in front of him, which it might be. Which it isn't. Right, so that is Jetsuragi, who is effectively behind the Sauber, and we'll just keep on board with him, as the next car to watch will be Lockie, that we were just... No, not Lockie. Well, I think that is a V-carb. Nope, I'm probably wrong. No, that's definitely a Williams. Anyway, it's Mikey. It is Mikey. Keep that in mind. It's Mikey and then a V-carb of PS Bomber. Alrighty. Anyway, the kick Sauber round the second last corner. Use the curb, don't run wide. Use all of your ERS here, but not all of it. Most of it. Off to the left as much as you can. Brake on the 50. Use the curb. And to the line now, as tight as it can. Where does he put himself? He doesn't improve. Next is Guga. Mikey, sorry. Mikey to the line. Where can he put himself? He puts himself 9th. Sprinter Giggles next to the line. Where can he put himself? He doesn't improve. Who's next? Is it PS Bomber? No, it's not. It's Zonix. Where is he? Here he is, to the line. Use the ERS, which he's out of. He puts himself 9th. Very tight between them. Keith to the line now, looking to improve. Will he do it? No, he cannot. He goes 4th fastest and he doesn't improve. Who's next? It's a Ferrari. It's a Red Bull. It's Legum. Yep, there it is. To the line. Where does he put himself? And he doesn't improve. Aiden goes faster again by another 10th. And we've lost all of the track data here. Hang on. Rift on his lap. He's invalidated. Who else can we hop on board with? Lockie. He's invalidated. JD. He's invalidated. Well, he's done, I mean. Cougar to the line. Where can he find himself at the end here? He gets himself to 11th fastest. Rift is the last one on track. And we'll analyze what's just happened here. Aiden sets pole of a 127.1, followed by the two Haas's of Lord and Apex. Piastri go, then Keith, and then Trent Newton, I believe it was. We'll have a quick look after this. What a very interesting qualifying there. Didn't see Aiden get dethroned, though. A very, very tight grid it was. Lockie puts himself 7th. Zonix, Mikey in the top 10, Guga in the top 11. And yeah, I think he'd be happy with that after his struggles within the Williams. Sorry. Danger doesn't get to put a lap in. We do know he's fast, but he's had some great comeback races. So 19th. Where can he find himself at the end? And Clammy Kid effectively last. These strategies will definitely be interesting. We have seen a one-stop work in Tier 2. Whether or not the Mercedes and the Haas, who are the front 4, or the front 5, with Piastri in the mix, what the strategies are going to be. Whether a bit of team orders are in place with a one-stop holding up the two-stoppers, or the two-stop just going for it. Who knows? A one-stop did work. A two-stop will work. What will happen is the question, and we're about to find that out in the next 28 or 29 laps, I believe it is, of Bahrain. And we will get underway momentarily. Alrighty, here we go as we go to 5 red lights, and away we go. We'll bother about that later. What happens here? We've got the two Haas looking to make the jump on Aiden in front as he defends the inside. The Haas goes around the outside. I think that's a Great Bulldog. Yes, it is. Aiden down to second, Keith into third, Mahavir into fourth, and Piastri into fifth. Very, very strong start for them. And Mahavir is already looking to make a move on Keith, and Aiden is looking to make a move on Apex. Already shaking up Mahavir, jumps Keith into third, and they have a bit of a tussle. Mahavir has to back out. Piastri now puts pressure onto Mahavir. Does he go around the outside? Can he stick it? Maybe they're wheel to wheel up into this very, very tight braking section as the Alpine kind of has a little tussle with the McLaren and Ferrari in front and behind. Apex now in front. It's now a Haas Mercedes sandwich. The roles have been reversed. The two Williams, 10th and 11th. Sprinter Giggles up into the top 10 and 9th. Rift falls down to 7th. Lockie into 6th. Zonix gains some places up into 8th. And down at the back, Danger's already up 5 positions. RJ falls to the back, unfortunately. Clammy is up 4 places. Legham's about where he started, I believe. And Trent has had a moment. He's down at the back. Does he have damage? I believe so. Unsure. As we see the strategies kind of evolve, we are looking for a 2-stop, maybe a 1-stop, and a bit of a desync there. Thought he ran wide, but never mind. Apex leads the charge after turn 1, followed by Aiden, Keith, Mahavir, Piastrigo, Lockie, Rift, Zonix, Sprinter Giggles, and Mikey are your top 10. And yeah, we'll quickly get all of our details up. Position changes. Geez, can't talk. Who are our most gained and our most lost? Our most lost is Trent Newton, losing 5 positions. Probably a bit of a moment from there as Legham picks up a 3-second already. Our most gained, tied both Danger... No, just Danger, sorry. Oh wait, no. Tied with Danger, Sprinter Giggles up 4 and up 4 for both of them. And of course our front 3 having a bit of a tussle with positions. And we'll get rid of that and we'll hop on to the tyres. A bit interesting here actually with the tyres. So everyone is on the mediums except for Mikey and the Williams on softs, Blackier and Sauber on softs, and Legham and the Red Bull on hards. So I'd say the one-stoppers would be on the hards. And in saying so, I reckon there'd be more 2-stoppers or more 1-stoppers on the mediums, which is quite interesting, especially up the front. Anyway, we'll chuck that on penalties. We'll chuck up the lap data. And that is all she wrote for them as Aiden looks to make a move down the inside. Apex covers him off as he slams it. Wheel to wheel now they go. Aiden makes the position. Keith hanging around behind, looking to see if there's any opportunities for him as he's right on the rear wing. He loses a bit of his front wing, I believe. That could just be exterior damage. I'm unsure. Doesn't look like he has damage as Keith makes the move on Apex into this TRS zone. And now Mahavir has had a moment. A bit of a spin, maybe a lockup, and he's lost 3 positions almost. With Lockie just behind him, Rift and Piastrigo capitalize on that moment. So Piastrigo's in the top 4. Rift is in the top 5, leading the 2 Ferraris, as Trent Newton tries to make up lost time down into the top 10, which is 1 point for him effectively. And how it stands, Trent Newton cannot afford this much of a point loss compared to Aiden and the Mercedes effectively for the constructors overall and for the constructors in Tier 1 and for Aiden and Trent for their drivers' championship opportunities. Aiden being 2nd place and Trent being very, very close behind. Trent being very, very far ahead, I should say. I believe the gap is 30 or 40 points. However, a 24-point difference is not what he's looking for. Now, as we see it kind of settle in, will we see a bit of team orders be played by the two Mercedes and effectively for the two Haas's? Whether that is playing a little bit of DRS chicken, swapping around, not giving each other dirty air for too long. So each lap or so they switch positions with DRS and kind of help each other move forward, help each other with tyres and kind of prolong their stint as much as they can. And in doing so, will the Haas try to do the same, or will they do a bit of put the faster driver in front to try and keep up and catch them, and maybe use the other driver to go to the two-stop and maybe act as a wall when the Mercedes come out of the pits, maybe hold them up for their teammate and then effectively go into the pits. Very interesting that is for them, as Piastri leads the McLaren of JD in 20th, unfortunately for him. However, yeah, a full grid today of 20 in Tier 1, which is unusual, I'd say, from the past. We usually have about 17, 16, 18. But anyway, these top 5 have split the DRS between the top 6 and back. So these are your front runners, I would say, as Trent Newton tries to make up lost time behind his teammate. And we're seeing a lot of twos here, 2 Saubers, 2 Williams, 2 Ferraris, 2 Mercedes, all next to each other, as Blackyear picks up a 3 second. So that's 5 penalties already handed out. And Clummy Kid in 17th, not where he likes to be, not where he wants to be, maybe where he needs to be in terms of figuring out what he's going to do for the rest of the season. And PS Bomber into 16th, usually a very strong driver, with his teammate Zonix up into 7th. We know what he's capable of. He's a 5-time Constructors Champion. What can he do with that knowledge? What can he do with that experience, as the Williams of Cougar runs very, very wide? Yeah, not very good for Guga. He's been hoping for a wet race. He hasn't gotten a wet race, and effectively, he's washed. He's near retirement, as one would say. And we'll jump up back to the Mercedes, as Keith has now taken first place. So they are playing a bit of a game of DRS chicken, not giving each other too much dirty air between laps, and just helping each other out, defending of the very quick Grateful Dog behind Aiden in the Haas. As Lockie and Zonix have a bit of a tussle back here. They went wheel to wheel. They are going wheel to wheel, and we'll just watch on board with this, actually, because the front fight isn't as exciting as this. The 2 Ferraris also close in on these runners, and Trent will be looking to get in front of these guys as quickly as possible to try and get a move done, try and catch up to the top 5. As you can see, the top 5 in the front there. And Zonix, he's on his rear wing. He's absolutely sniffing his diffuser. And what can he do? What can he do with DRS down the main straight that they are ever so quickly approaching? And at the back there on the track map, you can see that the McLaren of JD and the Alpine of Jetsaragi are very, very far behind. Already lap 6 out of 29. And the 2 Ferraris, they've prioritized the exit. I believe Zonix has 2. Will he be able to make the move? It's going to be close. He looks for a lunge. He doesn't go for it. And he hits a Ferrari. I believe that was Rift. No, that was Trent Newton. Trent Newton had a little bit of a bump with Zonix. Forced him off to the left to avoid further contact. And Rift has taken that place back as Rift nearly got into Trent Newton. Jeez. That is mental from them. We'll hop back up with Lord and the others as him and Piastrigo are having a bit of a tussle. And Piastrigo is pushed down into the top 5 now instead of the top 4. As the 2 Haas now are on the charge again for the Mercedes. And we'll just have a look here at what they can do. Lockie trying to gain back some time on Piastrigo. 1.6 now the gap was. It was 2 seconds a moment ago. And we'll just ride on board with them for a moment. Alrighty. And as I've come back, the Haas of Apex has lost DRS to the Mercedes as the as I'd say the faster driver of the 2. Mahavir takes 3rd place, puts himself onto the podium, and in doing so is now the leading car to catch the 2 Mercedes that are ever so slightly leaving them behind of Keith and Aiden as he has a moment, which is not good for the both of them. The gap now extending to 1.5. And Clammy's up into 12th. Danger is up into 14th with RJ, his teammate, right behind him. Very, very close these 2 are. And have I missed something? I have missed something. Piastrigo spun. He is way, way behind JD now. And that is the top 4 solidified. Piastrigo, our reigning champion, not having the race he would have wanted here. A very, very, very bad start of the season for him. Missing out on a win in Australia. Not attending Austria. I believe either not attending Jeddah or not doing too well in Jeddah. And now, well out of the points in Bahrain. 5 seconds behind his teammate. Is 4 seconds behind, or 5 seconds behind top 15. So we'll jump back up here. Woohoo! Ah, they're into the pits already. So that does mean that all of those going down, so PS Bomber, no, not PS Bomber, of Aiden and Apex are the 2 stoppers of the front runners, unless they can make them last for 20 laps, which I don't see happening. And now there's a little bit of a gap up front of 2.5 seconds between the top 3, and Zonix only a second away from 3rd place. Trent Nguyen also won the charge now for a podium. He'll definitely be going for the 1 stop after his little issue there. And Keith, he's now got some clean air. What's he going to do? Will he come into the pits at the end of this lap now that his teammate has already pit? He's already out on his out lap. And he's already just behind JD in 16th, which will definitely give him track position unless he gets held up by any of the back runners down there. He might get held up by JD, he might get held up by Jetsuragi, he might get held up by Lakem, who all have penalties. They don't really have much to lose. As Keith comes to the final corner, will he pull off to the right? Or will he go another one? I think he's going another one. Yes, he is. He doesn't head into the pit lane. And so does Mahavir. It's going to be a game of who goes first, as Mahavir is closing that gap ever so slightly. 4 tenths he's gained in the past lap or 2. However, if you have a look at the steering wheel there, he's got no battery left. He's drained all of his battery. And we don't know how many warnings he's on. And Lockie's losing the gap more and more as some others come into the pit. So Piastrigo, he hasn't pit yet, and he's just behind Aiden. That spin has cost him an entire pit stop worth of time. So seeing that, I would say he'd go for the 1 stop, which is about where you pit now. Lap 10 to lap 12, maybe lap 13, depending on how you can manage without losing too much time. you would definitely pit between those laps for the one stop, which effectively at the end, you're going to have zero pace, you're going to be sliding around the entire track, and you're going to pray that the two stoppers do not have enough pace to catch you. So Piastri needing to make up a pit stop. Yep, pit stop, that's the word. I would say he'd go for the one stop unless he thinks he has the pace to catch up, which with the front drivers, I don't think he does, unfortunately. He's quick, but not quick enough. And we'll jump back up front as Keith goes another one. Mahavir comes into the pits. He doesn't think he can go anymore. And that is the threshold. Lap 11. Lockie now in second place, Sonic's in third, and Trent in fourth. And those three are all battling each other, which is really, really going to help Keith. There's 5 seconds up. If he wants the one stop, he's going to need to pit, I'd say lap 12. I'd say he goes another one and heads into the pit then. With the look of the grid, Aiden definitely has track position. I don't see much else really happening. Clammy Kid up into 7th, Googer up into 6th. Obviously they haven't pit yet, so we won't get too ahead of ourselves there. And we'll just have a look at their tyres. Oh, jeez. And Aiden is back on the mediums. Hang on. Oh wait, no, we do know he's doing the 2-stop. Sorry. Yes, Aiden on the mediums as expected. So who hasn't pit? Legum hasn't pit, and then the top 11 haven't pit. Interesting indeed. And Mahavir's on the hards. I'd say he's going for a one stop. I wouldn't say he'd go medium hard. Yeah, he'd definitely be going for the one stop. He'd have to be going for the one stop. And Keith now, 5.5 seconds. He doesn't pull into the pit lane. He's going again. As I said, actually, we did expect him to go another one as Lockie goes into the pits and Zonix goes into the pits. Trey Newton now 6.5 seconds behind our leader, and Clammy gets a 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. That's just a blow directly to the chest for him. He will not be happy with that. 13 seconds it is for him. Effectively nearly lost for him. Danger comes into the pits, I think. Let me just make sure. Yes, Danger is in the pits. Alright. Sprinter up into 5th, Cougar in the 4th. And Aiden's up into 6th without Keith pitting yet. So Aiden is got clean air for a good 7/10, sorry. Once he gets in front of the car, in front of him, which is Sprinting Eagles, which he should lean way to. He's on fresher tyres. He's got a penalty, which he does. Aiden has got 7 seconds of clean air, which he can just use. He needs that clean air for the mediums, and that is perfect for him, top 5. He's only 14 seconds away from his teammate, and the 2 Ferraris are yet to pit, which I would expect Keith to come in now, which he does. And that is a one-stop strategy for Keith and a 2-stop strategy for Aiden, as Trent does the same. He comes into the pits and Rift goes another one, of course not wanting to double stack. So Rift is our new race leader, as Keith will effectively fall into 3rd just behind Aiden. Actually, as Oscar Piastri go, he's still out on the mediums. He's stuck it out as much as he can, and he's only a second away from Aiden. This one stop is going to be magical if he can pull it off. It's lap 13. He'd have to pit either now or lap 14. I can't see him going lap 15. They're just going to be too difficult to manage. He's already had a bit of a snap there, and he's losing time to Aiden very, very quickly. He's already lost 4 tenths. Aiden gaining rapidly on Rift, which is good. And actually, in a turn of events, Keith has been jumped by Mahavir. Yes, Mahavir has jumped or undercut Keith by 3.5 seconds because of how long he stayed out. Will that come into play later on with tyre wear having a 3-lap or so offset to the Haas of Mahavir, and whether or not he can find that pace to catch Mahavir if Mahavir doesn't make a mistake, which he is prone to do, as we've seen in many other races. And we'll jump up to... Oh, there's nothing really happening, is there? We'll jump on board with Piastri Goat and Apex, and we'll see what they can do here, as I'd assume Piastri Goat would go for a lunge here. As you can see, Aiden in the front there, as he's defending quite aggressively, Apex is. Zonix has left the session, which we'll see. I don't know if I have him added, actually. Do I have him added? Yes, I do. Zonix has been invited. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Aiden has taken the lead of the race. And Aiden just behind with Piastri Goat and Mahavir following closely, as Keith has lost another half a tenth there. 4 seconds it is now between the two cars fighting for second place, I think it is. We'll quickly check the tyres. Okay, right, so Grateful Dog is in second, actually. Yes, okay, so the two stoppers are what you see up the front there. The front three are two stoppers. And the back three, the top three are two stoppers, and fourth, fifth, and sixth are one stoppers. Well, we'd think so, at least. Lockie going for another one stop, like he did in Tier 1, which you won. In Tier 2, which you won yesterday, which was very close. Only a second in it between second place, who had a 3-lap offset. It can happen with them. Trent Newton down into 8th, which is his true position. As Guga loses the position. Oh, no, he doesn't. Does he? Yes, he does. There's a bit of a tussle with Riff, as he looks to maybe get some points, which he doesn't have abundance of here this time around, as Clammy picks up another 3 second. I would not be surprised if he throws in the towel very, very early on, as Trent makes the move on Mikey now. And he gets a bit of a bump there, actually, as they go wheel to wheel. We'll watch this battle, as Mikey isn't giving up. He said, hang on a minute, I would like another turn. And he wants some clean air for himself. Which, will he make a lunge here? Is he, no, Trent closes him off. He will have DRS. He'll spend some battery. The two Ferraris are sandwiching in the two Williams. What can happen here? He doesn't get anywhere with DRS on that straight. It's a very short straight. You need to have a good exit to be able to get anywhere. And around the second last corner, down this big straight, who's going to use ERS, if any at all? And we're going to come down to the final corner. And what's it going to be? Will we see a double Williams overtake here? The first we've seen in this season, as we see Mikey take the inside, Guga take the outside, and it's just beautiful from the two Williams, coordinated as can be, as then the two Williams have a little bit of a tussle as Trent Newton sticks his line on the outside. He says, I don't want to give that up just yet. He gets in front of Mikey, and now Guga leads this charge. Trent Newton still got a bit of battery, I believe. Yes, he does. Nearly a half tank. He doesn't want to invalidate. He's on the hard tyres, and I believe Guga is too. We'll have it. No, he's on the mediums. So Guga having that little bit more pace with no DRS. What can he do here? What can he find? Can he fend off Trent Newton? And as we look in front of us, Keith, 4.5 seconds now to Apex, who's lost the 2 positions to Mahavir and Piastri Goat. Don't know what's happened there, but anyway, 2.5 seconds it is, the gap between the leader and second place. And here, really the only interesting battle that we are seeing is Guga, Trent Newton, Mikey, and Rift. So the two Williams and the two Ferraris all fighting the deep blue versus the scarlet red. Who will come out on top here? Lap 17. We're more than halfway into the season as Apex comes into the pit lane. And now the next car is Lockie, as Guga fends off Trent Newton quite well, actually, with that pace. He kind of has a bit of a tussle in and out with him. Mikey can't get any positions, nor can Rift. And now another DRS zone. After using your battery, you use it again. Where can Trent go as Guga takes his line into turn 4, which we've seen some issues with on the curb. And the two Williams are looking quite strong here. And as I say that, Guga picks up a 3 second. He will be spewing with himself as he covers the inside. And Mikey gets a good run here, actually, on the Ferrari, which he might have a look down the inside. No, he doesn't. He goes wide. He has a bit of a lockup. And that will be him out of this run with Rift behind him. And Trent has lost time to Guga as Rift tries to make a move on Mikey. He goes around the outside. Mikey keeps his line. Rift looks for an opening. He sends it down the inside. He'll have a lunge, and it's very, very tight racing, but clean from the both of them, as that little tussle has taken Mikey out of DRS from Trent Newton, which has shaken things up. Rift will have a definite run on the main straight here, as will Trent, as Piastrigo and Aiden have come in for their second stops. And up to Guga. He fends him off. Mikey loses the position to Rift, as we could tell. That's going to be a bit of a swap between the two of them in the back there, 7th and 6th. They'll definitely be tossing up positions with DRS. Keith, 6.5 seconds now to Mahavir. So this one stop is definitely going to be crucial for the both of them. Whose tyres will last longer? Who can find the pace on the worse or better tyres, as JD picks up another 3-second penalty, which brings him to 6th in 19th, which will keep him at 19th, unfortunately, for Jet Saragi, who is quite far behind. And where's RJ? RJ's in 15th. He's cruising. He's having a relaxing race, and I think that's all you need, to be honest, as Guga is still fending off Trent Newton, a very, very fast driver. But in doing so, actually helping out the front runners of Keith and Mahavir, and for that being Aiden and Apex, who've just hit, including Piastrio. Definitely helping them out a bit. Fend off, well, kind of keep the Ferraris behind, don't let them get too far in front, and building that gap between the front runners, as Mikey picks up 3 seconds. So that's both Williams now with time penalties, who provisionally will lose both positions on the Ferraris, which will see the Ferraris into the top 6. I mean, the top 5, both of them, which is a very strong performance. We have seen 2 double podiums from the Ferraris. We haven't seen a 1-2 finish yet. Will we see one today? Maybe, maybe not. I guess we'll find out in the next 10 laps, as we head round again to the DRS zone in Sector 2 here at the end of Sector 1. And Rift has lost over half a tenth just in that corner alone to Trent Newton, and it's a second and a half between them. Geez, I'm starting in here. It's taking a toll on me. And Guga still leads Trent Newton. Mikey might look for a run here. He looks like he is going to go for a run. As we can see, Aiden just in the background there, behind Danger and Clammy in 9th and 10th. So, yeah, quite interesting. We'll jump down to the bottom here, because RJ and Sprinter might be having a little bit of a moment. Looking like they might be helping each other out here. Unsure whether or not they are. And another battle between another Sauber and a Piastrigo of Blackyear. And Piastrigo, of course, just mentioned him. PS Bomber down into 17th. I believe he's a two-stopper, so that won't be his true position yet, as Trent Newton actually makes the move on Guga into turn 1, into turn 2, and Guga will now have a run. He won't want to lose that position, but he's going to have to deal with it, as he has a little bit of a moment there. I don't know what that was. As he runs really wide, really wide. He's lost it. He's been absolutely rattled by Trent Newton there. And he's lost some precious time, if he hasn't lost some already. Yeah, and he'll be looking for another move down the main straight, which is really our only overtaking zone that we've seen. Unless you get a really good run into turn 3, which is quite unlikely. And we'll just see if they can do anything here. I don't think they will be able to. As Keith now 6 seconds behind Mahavir, who's looking strong. We'll just ride on board with him for this lap to see how he goes. See how his management is and if he's having any issues, effectively. As he goes a second slower than his best that lap. And we'll just have a look here. It's very tight on the turn 1 there. Don't invalidate here, which he might have just got a warning for. And you can see the Mercedes far back there as Mikey and Guga come into the pits at the same time, did they? Yes, they did, but it should be enough time for a double stack. It's going to be close, actually. I'd like to see this. It's nearly perfect as Mikey loses some time there, just riding speeds in the pit lanes, and he pays the price. And we'll jump up on board with Aiden, who's having a bit of a... he's helping out Danger a bit here, moving him up the positions in his DRS, and he's in Rift's DRS now, looking to catch him out as Clumby picks up another 3 seconds. You hate to see it. 19 seconds it is for him now. Nearly a half lap as RJ picks up his first penalty of the session. He's nearly got 3 seconds on PS Bomber, so we shouldn't be too worried about that. But yes, Aiden, our leader, or our previous leader from the 2-stop, what can he do? 8 laps to go, fresh odds. We will see. He had a bit of a moment there. I think Rift is trying to let him by. Well, he was. He is. He doesn't want to catch him up too much, because he knows he's not fighting him. He doesn't want to lose time, which he's already 2 seconds behind, and he might hop out of the way here. Yes, he does. As he nearly cuts back in on Aiden. Aiden just can't get around. Rift giving him a bit of a battle. He's holding him up for his teammate, I think. I think that's what's happening here. Aiden gets a little bit of a switchback, and he sends it in deep. He outbrakes him. Can he get a bit of a switchback? Yes and no. Danger lurking in the background there. Keith, that tire offset now is starting to kick in. 5.5 seconds. He's starting to catch up to Mahavir very late in this race. What can he do? What can he find? Will it be Mahavir who comes out on top in his first race, his debut of Season 8? Or will it be Keith, his first win of the season? As Aiden sends it deep, I'd say. Maybe? No, he doesn't. He's waiting out for the main straight. But this dirty air is killing him. And will Trent Newton pit? I don't think he will, to be honest. As Lockie is on the podium provisionally, he's 5.5 seconds away from Trent Newton, who can't find the pace right now. And Rift will surely get out of the way. Yes, he does. And that will be the move completed on him. Psych, I lied. As they're still fighting, Aiden picks up another penalty. Rift is really holding up Aiden now as Legum retires, and that is the first of the 2 Red Bulls. Has the safety car come out? Surely not. I don't think it has. And we're back under green flag conditions. Aiden is really losing time here to Rift, and he's losing degradation on his sides. He's losing his life, pretty much, with this battle. Danger just behind him. He sticks it around the outside. That's a beautiful move from the Mercedes driver. He's clear in front of DRZ Rift, as he still looks for a move there. Danger now, the next car to try and get past Rift. He's on old tires and he's losing precious time. Then comes Piastri Goat, 7/10 away with a 3-second penalty. Then Apex. 4 very strong drivers, very close together, as Aiden will now look to catch up to Trent, as Danger makes a send down the inside. They have a bit of a tussle in between them. Danger makes the move, and he'll get DRS down here, as well as Rift, as well as Piastri Goat. Piastri Goat. Now we're going 3 wide into turn 1 almost. Danger loses the 2 positions again. Piastri Goat gets in front. Rift doesn't lose a position. He holds his line. He gives Piastri Goat a run for his money. Danger looking to capitalize on this battle here. He's hanging it back. He's got DRS. He's hanged it behind Rift now, and he's lost the position to Rift. So Piastri Goat's flown by the both of them, and he's now got Rift and Danger behind him. Now a 2.5 down at Aiden. He's lost DRS, and he's now under threat by the both of them. Aiden, 2.5 seconds towards Trent Newton. He can't find the time. It's kind of staggering up and down, and it's a bit balanced, as Rift and Danger have another moment. And now here comes Apex. Apex is in the mix, as Danger loses another position to Apex. So that is another battle happening, as Piastri Goat, a second away from Rift. He's in the clear. He's got a little bit of clean air. He doesn't have any pressure from behind. And now it's Danger and Apex versus Rift. Rift playing the ultimate team game here. He's holding up very fast drivers on newer tires for his teammate Trent Newton in 4th. Still trying to gain onto our provisional podium of Lockie, Keith and Mahavir. And Keith, he still can't find the time to catch Mahavir. 4 laps to go. It is very close between them all. And as what's happened here actually, Apex has gone through Rift, through Danger, and now Danger is at the back end of it all. As Rift, he has a moment, hang on a minute, Rift is in the barrier, Danger is up a position, and Rift, after holding up all of those drivers for so long, has had a spin. He's damaged his wing, and that is his race nearly over. He'll have to come into the pits, fix his wing, change his tires with 4 laps to go. He is definitely out of the points, and that is a great upset for him. He's a very strong driver, he's very consistent, and he's just binned it at the end. And we'll jump back up to here actually. Danger, 7/10 away now from Apex. As you can see here, he's looking to make a move. Piastri Goat is well out of DRS from Apex. Aiden well out of DRS from Piastri Goat. And Aiden now only 1.5 seconds to Trent Newton. That tyre offset is starting to kick in, and he's back on for 4th place. Lockie making the one-stop work. Keith and Mahavir making the one-stop work. And Trent, I believe another one-stopper, is just losing too much time to Aiden after his moment earlier on. Had he had not spun, where would he have been? Would he have been on the podium? Would he have been not under pressure now by Aiden, who's closing in by nearly a second a lap? It's very close between the top 4 here. And what can we see at the end? Could we see Aiden catch up to Lockie? And could we see a double Mercedes podium? If not, a Keith win. This is incredible. at the end here with strategy. Strategy's been a killer for most people in this race. As you can see, the multitude of what do I want to say? The multitude of penalties that have been handed out. Nearly half of the grid, I'd say, have penalties. And Clammy Kid, where is he? Clammy Kid has served 10 seconds, and he's into 18th. Behind Zonix, who's being lapped almost. Or probably is being lapped, I should say. And where are we now? Aiden in DRS. Danger still just very, very close behind. And we'll hop up to Aiden and Trent Newton. Trent Newton looking very, very wobbly on the old hards. And, Trent looking wobbly on the old hards. Trent, what am I saying? Aiden on the new hards. Looking very, very strong as we head down the front straight. You can hear the crowd roar a bit for the two drivers. As we come to turn 1, will we see a late lunge here from Aiden? No, we won't. Maybe we will, actually. It's very, very close. He looks for a switchback. He's going to look for the turn 3 move as he tries and gets a good run on the exit there. He might have. He's got a bit of battery. He's using that bit of battery, and he sends it down the inside. He forces Trent to cover the inside line as they have a bit of a tussle. It's going to be close here with the next DRS zone. Who can take this corner better? Who will take it? What am I trying to say? Who's going to focus exit? Who's going to focus entry? As we come over to the next DRS zone, the third DRS zone that we will be experiencing in this lap. He's got half a tank of battery. He saved it for this very moment. What will he do? He drains a bit of it. He stops halfway. He's going to be waiting for the final straight. And he desync. Wow. Shit. Half a tenth now. Half a second now to Trent. Keith, ever so slightly catching on Mahavir. 4 seconds between them. I'd likely say it's going to be a Mahavir debut win in Season 8 for him. 2 laps to go. Lockie in third. 4 seconds now between him and Trent Newton, who's under great pressure. To Aiden. Back here, Danger and Apex are still battling in DRS of each other. And Rift, he's not pitting. It's too late in the game for him, and he wants to keep some points. Guga, who's got 3 seconds. He's 2.5 seconds behind Rift. What can he find at the end here? He needs to get in front of Rift. And that being said, will he have enough pace to keep that gap to 3 seconds, to keep 9th place, or to gain 9th place, and get 2 extra points? As Aiden and Trent have another tussle. I forgot to have a look at this. And into turn 3, they're side by side, and Aiden backs out a bit. Oh, that was a turn 3, actually. We're way past that, actually. Yeah, wow. Okay, anyway. Having a bit of a fight there. Piastri Goat now in the mix. Piastri Goat capitalized on these two fighting, has said, hello, I'd like to have a bit of a join. He comes in at the back. DRS opens for him and Aiden. And Piastri Goat looking to have a run. Clammy Kid says, fuck it, hop on the softs. And as he does, he's in 18th. He's got the fastest lap. He's got a 9-second penalty. And he's just having fun with it now. Keith, still 4 seconds to Mahavir in front with 1 lap to go. Danger picks up a 3-second, and that's his fight over. Piastri Goat still trying to catch them 3 seconds. He will lose the position to Apex. He would have lost the position to Danger. Apex now on the push. See where he can find himself, if not solidify that P6 finish for him. Aiden makes the move on Trent Newton into turn 1. Piastri Goat also lurking in the background there. Where can he find himself? Can he gain that gap on Apex to get 3 seconds on him as Piastri Goat picks up a 6-second? That's his race over. Well, his fight over for him. He might even finish in 8th. Guga gets in front of Rift. There's 3 tenths between them. How much pace does he have to keep Rift away to gain 3 seconds? And we'll hop up to the front now. Keith, 4 seconds away still. Lockie on the podium in Tier 1. His first it will be in Tier 1 for him. Trent Newton still behind Aiden. Aiden is 3 seconds away from Lockie. as we'll come up to Mahavir, who's leading the charge in the final lap of 29 out of 29. Clammy Kid retires. He doesn't want to finish the race. And coming round to the final corner, our dark horse missed out on a championship win for his first time in ORL. He comes to the line in Bahrain, round 4, and he finds himself victorious, holding off Keith in a much faster Mercedes to win his first round here, his debut in the Haas. Very well done from him. Keith, who just couldn't get there, in second. Lockie in third, his first podium in Tier 1. Aiden, the other Mercedes, unfortunate strategy with Rift holding him up for too long, 2.5 seconds away in fourth. Trent having a great recovery drive into fifth, followed by Apex, Piastri Goat, who loses out with his penalty. Danger, who just couldn't get there to capitalize on Piastri Goat's penalty, in 8th. Rift holds off Guga, he's in 9th. Guga in 10th, Mikey in 11th, missing out on points, followed by PS Bomber, the two Saubers of Sprinter and Blackear. RJ in 15th, an unfortunate race for him as he comes to the line, having a bit of fun. You love to see it as JD comes in 16th, Jet Saragi in 17th, and Zonix in 18th after DNFs. What a race that was. And we'll try and get some interviews from our drivers here. Danger given driver of the day again. I wouldn't say it's driver of the day for him. I would say, who would be driver of the day? I don't know. Where did everyone start? Where did they finish? It might have to be Lockie. On a one stop, our top 3, our podium of Mahavir, Keith, and Lockie, all on the one stop. A very solid drive from them today. I'll quickly see if we can get some interviews going, because wow, what a race it was. Alrighty, we'll jump in here and we'll see if we can get some interviews out of our podium finishers. As Keith is the first one to join us. Keith, mate, a very close race for you with the one stop. Just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, basically. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Lord got pretty lucky. I'm surprised his tires. I'm surprised his tires made it. Like, good job to him still. Good race. If he spent one more week in Monaco, I would have won. But you know.
Alright, then that's the unfortunate part. Yeah, a 3-lap offset between you and Mahavir at the end there.
I don't know.
Very close.
My tires were on 65. His were on like 80.
82, yeah.
Very close between them and Mahavir, our race winner. A very well drive from you today, managing your tires very early on with a lap 11 pit stop, or lap 10 pit stop, I think it was for you. Yeah. How was your drive today?
First one is pretty trash. I got the worst. I got the worst start, and then I got the worst line, lost 2 places, and then I almost got Keith, but then I slided it again, and then I hit the turn 10 curb and died again, and then I managed to recover to P4 first in, I think, and then I went longer to better tires, caught up to them 3 seconds in like 5-6 laps, I think, and yeah. Apex let me past. He's the goat. Yeah, Apex is the goat. He let me past. That's all I have to say. And then
very interesting strategies between the teams there. And Lockie, a first podium for you in Tier 1. How was your drive?
Before you say anything, Jordan, welcome to Tier 1, Lockie. Welcome to Tier 1.
What do you mean? I like
You got a
tier
podium in
2.
tier 1 and you're a tier 2 driver. You're getting
I like
moved up
tier 2.
100%.
I think you need to make a swap
I
with
don't-
Rift.
I don't belong here.
Yeah, Rift's low-key buns, get him out.
Um,
Joking, love him.
and Keith, in terms of team orders, with Mercedes, what happened at the end there with Aiden? From commentary, we could see that he was getting held up by Rift a bit. Was that the issue?
He just said he couldn't get past. Like, he was just
Yeah.
saying,
Maybe it's trash.
so Rift was trying to hold up him so he didn't get to Trent, and then luckily he did get to Trent, but they were doing some very good defense and working very well as a team together. That's about it.
Yeah, very,
I feel
very
like
close.
I could have won that if I boxed maybe 2 laps earlier, but Lord
Yeah, it would've been
clearly
close.
deserves that. He was the tyre whisperer. I'll give it to him. Good race.
Yeah, like George Russell.
Yeah, I'm the Lando Norris of this league. Can't win,
Yep.
but yeah.
Alright. Okay. No need for that.
Okay.
And
Russell
Lockie,
trash.
2 1-stops for you, 1 winning you the race in tier 2 and a podium in tier 1. How was your drive tonight?
Yeah, it was good. I was just surprised I got in front of Trent, to be honest, and Piastri Goat and Apex. They must, I think, just boxing a lap 11 helped me a lot there with the undercut and just staying out in front. But they did get held up, so that did help my race.
Yeah, very, very close it was at the end there with the top 6 or so. Alrighty, thank you for your time, everyone, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Okay. Alrighty, and that is all we have time for this evening. Thank you for coming along with ORL and with me in the commentary box. And we will see you in 2 weeks for the Miami Grand Prix. Everyone have a nice break, and we will see you